If you're a woman in midlife who looks into the mirror and something feels a little off, not just different, but unfamiliar, this podcast episode is for you today. If it feels like you're living in a body that used to be yours, but doesn't really quite feel like yours anymore, first of all, I want you to know that you're not alone. And there's a way through this without hating yourself into change. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. There's a very specific kind of grief that comes from looking in the mirror in midlife and not recognizing what you see. The shape is different. The energy is different. Things have shifted, softened, changed in ways that you didn't consent to and you weren't quite prepared for. And the default response, the one that our culture almost universally hands us, is to decide that the body is wrong or that you have failed in some way, and to launch into restriction and deprivation and overexertion and self-criticism as the solution. So much fun, right? Wrong, right? It's misery. And the good news is, of course, there's another way. And it starts with recognizing that what you're experiencing, of course, is not a failure of discipline. It's a complete human response to a very real transition, a genuine transition. And it deserves to be met with something way more generous than contempt. There's two things I want to speak to in terms of stories here, because I think they're both so relevant. First of all, I've said this on many shows before, previously, in regards to body image. But there is a big difference between thinking about your body and actually experiencing your body. So the experience of being in your body is what you feel when you are actually dropping into your body and getting out of your head. When you're looking in the mirror, you're all in your head, right? And I've used this strategy a lot with my clients who have really intense body image challenges in midlife, especially. We go through a series of exercises of really getting them to experience, to pivot when they're in a space of judgment and feeling terrible about their body. It's because they're thinking about their body versus experiencing their physiology. A really straightforward example of this right now would be if you think about the part of your body that you least like. Maybe it's your butt, maybe it's your chest, maybe it's your shoulders or your legs. I don't know. What part of your body are you most critical of? Think about that for a second. Think about why you don't like it. And then I want you just to close your eyes, assuming you're not driving. And I want you just to experience that part of your body. What does it actually feel like to be in your hips? Or what does your chest actually feel like? Or your shoulders? Or your legs? I guarantee those are two very different things. Thinking about the body part versus experiencing the body part. So use this moving forward. When you're in a space of deep judgment about your body, can you pivot to experiencing your body? Get away from the mirror and really drop yourself into your physiology. And I guarantee you're going to feel something very different. The second thing I wanted to mention in regards to this was that I recently saw a video, I think it was on Instagram, of a young woman who had been working with patients for the past 3 years who were becoming physically disabled. So they were kind of on the journey to death, and they were rapidly losing their physical ability. And it was such a powerful video because she just talked about how, number one, we tend to get so up in our heads about everything that's wrong with our physiology. And we convince ourselves why we can't move our bodies. And here she is working with a population that no longer has that option, doesn't even have that privilege. And it truly is a privilege, right? when we recognize that we have arms that move and we have eyes that blink and hands that can hold and legs that can walk. That is not a privilege afforded to everybody. So remembering that can go a long way, I think, in helping us to make peace with our physiology, no matter where our physiology is. But your body, of course, is not the problem. That I feel like I should make that a bumper sticker because I say it pretty much in every episode of this show. In midlife, your body is undergoing one of the most significant hormonal transitions of your life. Ones that involve real physiological changes to tissue composition, fluid regulation, metabolic rate, and hormonal signaling, all of which we've done a deep dive of on this show. And so what you're seeing in the mirror is often, way more often, biology. Just biology. And that doesn't mean that there's nothing to do to help soften the effects, right? There's plenty to do. But the doing is significantly more effective when it comes from a place of care rather than from a place of contempt. There's research in health psychology that consistently shows that body shame and self-criticism is actually associated with worse health outcomes, more disordered eating, less consistent exercise, higher cortisol levels, and lower self-efficacy. The most sustainable health behaviors are built on a foundation of self-respect, not self-rejection. So the goal is never, I don't want to say that it's to love every part of your body. I don't think that's necessarily reasonable to love every part of your body all of the time. That's not a requirement. But the goal is to stop treating it as an adversary and start treating it as a collaborator, as an ally. Right? Because it really is a body that is changing, yes, but also a body that is carrying you, working for you, adapting for you every single day. It's shown up for you every single day of your life. How amazing is that? How many things in your life have been that loyal? Not a lot. So here's your practice. This week, I want you to find one thing, just one, it's always just one, that your body did today that deserves acknowledgement. It walked you somewhere. It let you breathe. It digested a meal. You got to taste something really awesome. It got you through a hard conversation. You created something. It held you upright when everything felt really heavy. Just one thing each day, every day. It's not gratitude theater, right? This isn't a performance. It's really just genuinely noticing and acknowledging what your body's doing well, because there's so much your body is doing well. And the more you acknowledge it, the better you will feel about your body. This sounds crazy, but it reminds me of a kind of dog training. I have a puppy right now. She's 5 months old. And I learned early on with dogs that you can scold them for things that they do wrong, and it will never take you as far as praising them for what they do right. Right? Dogs tend to, they get trained so much quicker and so much more effectively when you are praising them for what they're doing right. I highly encourage you to do the same with your body. You cannot hate yourself into a body you love, but you can respect yourself into a life that feels like yours. And you can respect yourself into a place of befriending your body. And I highly encourage you to do that work. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.